Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the news just keeps getting better for former President Donald Trump 1 week before the presidential election. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, please check that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@explainamerica, and hit subscribe absolutely free. It really helps us out. The former president, now even the liberal media, has to admit that he's really running ahead of Vice President Kamala Harris. His polls are rising every single day, and Senate polls are shifting towards Republicans now. I want to preface all of this. See, I don't make predictions. I'm not in the prediction game for a reason. I remember the red wave of 2022 that was predicted by every poll that didn't happen. So you have to be careful and take polls for what they're worth. But it's just a feeling in the country right now that people are exhausted with how things are going with the Biden-Harris regime, that they want to change it. They remember the Trump years. They remember prosperity. They remember what their bank accounts look like, their jobs. They remember grocery prices, gas prices. They remember these things. And they want to go back to that. And they may not like the way he speaks. They may not like the things he says. But they like the results. They like the results. And they know that he's not any of these words that the Democrats call him. He's not a fascist. If he was a fascist, he would have been a fascist in his first 4 years. He's got a record. He would have been a fascist then. He would have been all these terrible things they call him then. Guys, I want you to watch this video, though, where ABC News has to break down. You could see the sadness on their faces, the desperation, the despair, if you will, on their faces. Watch this video, and then let me know what you think in the comments.
Filed a lawsuit over that giveaway. A hearing is expected on Friday, George.
Okay, Rachel, stand by, and let's bring in our political director, Washington Bureau Chief Rick Klein. Latest on the polls and early voting.
Yeah, George, good morning. These are the latest polling averages from 538. The 7 states that are almost certainly going to determine the presidency. Things close as ever, and we're seeing a very slight Trump edge in several of the battleground states. Kamala Harris's numbers have gone down just a little bit, although all within the margin of error. And we are seeing an explosion in voting. More than 50 or almost 50 million people have already voted. Pace is actually down a bit from 2020 when COVID drove so many people to vote by mail. But Republicans have started early voting off strong basically everywhere. North Carolina is one example there. You could see Democrats were outnumbering Republicans slightly early on in the voting period, but that has started to change. A lot of these voters happen to be people that would show up anyway at some point. It means there are still more Democratic and independent voters to chase. And it is a similar story in the state of Wisconsin. You see Republicans making up a greater share of the electorate than Democrats. Again, a lot of those are people that are going to vote anyway. The deciders are still out there and still gettable for the campaigns, George.
And Rick, our poll shows that people generally trust the voting process.
Yeah, this was striking to me because all the concerns we've seen around voting, people are broadly convinced that results are going to be accurately reported. 69% of people say they are confident that votes will be accurately counted. But among Trump supporters, it's actually a bit less. More than half of Trump supporters say they don't think that all votes are going to be counted accurately this year. Overall, 86%. So really the vast majority of Americans say they are prepared to accept